On Christmas Eve, my parents threw me and my child out with a suitcase. My sister snorted, "Let's see how you survive this time." We shivered on a frozen bus stop. Spotting a barefoot, purple-faced man, I handed him my winter boots. An hour later, 20 black Range Rovers surrounded us. The man said just one sentence. "My name is Alina. I'm 28. The middle child, the responsible one. I do payroll for a small pharmacy chain. I have a 5-year-old son, Leo, who sleeps like a starfish and steals my pillow. We've been living in my parents' apartment since my divorce. It was supposed to be for a few months. I cook, clean, run errands. My mom calls it keeping the house together. My dad calls it the least I can do. My younger sister, Vika, calls me the maid when she thinks I can't hear. It was Christmas Eve. The kitchen smelled like cinnamon and dish soap. My mom folded napkins into little fans. "Smile," she said. "Family time." Vika breezed in with eyelashes like tiny fans. "Alina, drive me to the salon. They squeezed me in." I looked at Leo, still in pajamas, building a dinosaur made of forks. "I can't. I have to get Leo dressed and finish the salad." Vika clicked her tongue. "You're always making it difficult." I felt that old squeeze in my chest. I wanted to keep it light. "How about you ask Dad?" "Dad doesn't like my driving," she said brightly. "You don't mind helping, right?" I swallowed. I minded, but I smiled anyway. That was the first crack. I didn't move back to my parents because I wanted to. I moved back because my marriage fell apart fast, like a chair with loose screws. Leo's dad left, then stopped paying child support temporarily, then blocked my number. I had a 1-bedroom we couldn't afford alone, not with daycare and bills. My parents said, "Come home, we're family." At first, it was safe. Leo had my old room. My mother cried over baby socks. My father carried boxes and said, "You'll get back on your feet." Then the lists started. "Transfer me for groceries," Mom would say. "You live here." Or she'd leave receipts on my bed. "Your share of heating, your share of internet, your share of my gas money when I drive Vika to class." I gave. It felt fair, to a point. But then the numbers stopped making sense. The electric bill doubled, then tripled. Dad started saying, "We're not a charity." Mom started saying, "If you'd stayed married." Vika was studying to be a lash artist. Most of the time she slept until noon. She borrowed my foundation and never returned it. She took my boots, my blow dryer, my self-respect. When I asked for anything back, she laughed. "It's all family stuff." One Thursday, Mom accidentally used my card at the store. "Just a few things," she said, waving a $100 receipt. When I showed her the bank text, she shrugged. "You always make a fuss." When I tried to set boundaries, it went like this. "Mom, I can't cover your credit card this month." "Don't start. You're here for free." "I pay rent. You asked me to." "You pay what you pay. That doesn't cover food, electricity, stress." "Mom, I bought groceries yesterday." "And then your son ate lunch, didn't he?" "And I cooked it." I felt crazy. I wrote a budget on a sticky note and stuck it on my mirror. It looked tidy and calm. Life was not tidy and calm. Christmas came with new requests. "We need to look like a successful family," Mom said. "Everyone's coming." By everyone, she meant her sisters, their perfect adult children, and the neighbors who always asked about my ex. I bought small gifts, a coloring book for Leo, tea for Mom, socks for Dad, a nail kit for Vika. I wrapped them on the floor after Leo fell asleep. It felt like trying to make something soft out of sandpaper. The next morning, Mom held up the nail kit. "This looks cheap," she said. "It's all I can afford," I said. "You work full-time. Where does your money go?" I wanted to say, child, bus fares, diapers, you. Instead, I said, "I'm saving for a deposit. Leo needs his own room." Dad snorted. "You think a landlord is waiting to bless you? Stay here, that's the plan." "It's not my plan," I said, steady. "I need to move in the new year." They stared at me like I had spoken French. Mom's eyes sharpened. We planned something else with you. What? You'll help us with the new loan, she said. We need a guarantor. My stomach dropped. No, I can't do that. I didn't ask if you can, she said. I told you what the family needs. Vika came in, yawning. We're still on me moving into the big room, right? After the tree? I need space for my lash chair. That's Leo's room, I said. No, that's your old room. You can share with him, she said smugly. Dad poured coffee like it was gasoline. He said, Don't ruin the holiday. I went to my room and shut the door. Leo looked up. Mom? I smiled for him because that's what I do. Get dressed, baby. We're going to watch cartoons at Grandma's. Inside, my brain was loud. I thought about the envelope in my desk drawer, 2 months of scraping and saying no to myself, a deposit, and first month's rent for a cheap studio I'd found on a forum. It felt like a door opening. I wanted it so bad I could taste it. I also wanted dinner to be peaceful. I wanted not to be the problem. So I went back to the kitchen. I'll help with the cooking. I can do the drinks table. Mom smiled like I'd passed a test. Vika said, And you'll drive me after. We'll see, I said. Vika leaned in. Don't be difficult, Alina. I thought how often she had used that word on me. Difficult. Like having needs was a flex. I focused on slicing oranges. I focused on not crying. I focused on Leo's small hand on my sleeve. People were coming. I wanted to believe we could act like a family for one day. Dinner started fine. There was borscht and laughter and old stories. The neighbors admired the tree. Leo fell asleep on my lap, sticky with candy. Vika showed everyone her lash page. Mom kept that strained smile that says, My life is perfect, please clap. Then my aunt asked, light as air, So, Alina, when are you getting married again? A few people laughed. I said, I'm focusing on work and Leo. Dad said, She's moving out somewhere, with a shrug like a paper cut. Mom's smile cut. She's joking about moving out, she said to the table. She knows it's not realistic. I managed a calm voice. It is realistic. I've saved. Vika blinked. Saved what? Your child support? That belongs to Grandma's house now. I felt heat behind my eyes. Child support, when it arrives, belongs to Leo. Dad put down his fork. Don't argue in front of guests. I stood. I'm not arguing. I'm telling you my plans. Mom stood too, voice sharp. In this house, the plans are ours. Vika, smiling at her phone, said, Ooh, drama. That word flipped a switch in me. I went to my room with Leo on my hip. I laid him on the bed. He stirred, rubbed his face, went back under. I took a deep breath. I opened my desk drawer to look at the envelope. It was gone. I froze. I opened every drawer. I looked under the bed. I checked my bag, my coat, pockets. Nothing. I stood in the hallway with that empty feeling, like being pushed off a step. Mom? My voice sounded too bright. Did you see an envelope in my room?
Mom didn't look at me. I cleaned. Did you move it? Dad said, Your mother doesn't steal. I didn't say steal. I asked if she moved it. Vika looked up. Is it the envelope you keep guarding? I borrowed it. The room tilted. You what? She rolled her eyes. For a deposit for my lash studio. I'll pay you back. Don't be dramatic. I laughed, a shocked little sound. That's Leo's home. You stole my son's home. Mom snapped. Watch your tone. Dad's hand hit the table. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with me? I am trying to move out. I told you that. And you took the money. Vika shrugged. You're still here. A studio in January is stupid. It's cold. You'll thank me. I looked at Leo's socks thrown by the radiator. I looked at that table full of people pretending not to hear. My hands shook. Put the money back, I said. No, Vika said. It's already transferred. And anyway, Mom said we're a family. We share. I didn't share it, I said. Dad stood. Enough. You don't scream in my house. It's my child's money, I said. Mom came close. Her voice went low. If you don't like our decisions, leave. It's Christmas. You're ruining it. Mom, I said, slow because if I went fast I would explode. I will leave, but I'm taking my child. Mom's eyes got small. Where will you go? Who will take you? Don't make empty threats. I picked up Leo's jacket and tiny boots. I zipped him into his coat while he slept, a practiced move. I put on my own coat and boots. My heart hammered like it was trying to get out. Vika snorted. Let's see how you survive this time. Dad said, You think we'll beg? Take your bag if you're going. I grabbed the small suitcase I'd kept ready for sleepovers. I put in a change of clothes, Leo's dinosaur hoodie, the toothbrush with the blue stripe. I put my phone charger in my pocket. I picked up my child. As I turned, Mom opened the door. Fine, go, but don't come back crying. The cold stairwell punched me in the face. I went down. My breath made little clouds. My hand shook on the metal handle. We stood at the bus stop. The wind cut through my coat. Leo woke and said, small and confused, Home? We're going on an adventure, I said, hating how fake I sounded. My toes burned and then went numb. I didn't cry. That surprised me. Maybe I was past crying. A man walked past in a thin hoodie, his face purple with cold. No gloves, no hat, barefoot. My brain said, that's not real. My eyes said, it is. He looked straight ahead, like he was late to something only he knew. His feet were raw. The skin looked like it hurt to touch. I don't know why I moved. I put Leo on the bench, wrapped him in my scarf, knelt and pulled off my boots. The air stabbed my socks. I'm not good with pain. I did it anyway. Sir, I said, and my voice was steady. Here. He stared at me like I was a TV on mute. I held the boots out. Please. He frowned like I was confusing, then took them, slowly. His hands shook. He sat on the curb, put on my boots with clumsy fingers. They fit him terribly. He looked at me. His lips were blue. He nodded once, no smile. He shuffled away.
Leo, wide-eyed, said, Mom, your feet. I know, I said. I pulled his spare socks from the suitcase and put them over mine. Double socks. It helped a little. I put my wet sneakers from the suitcase on top. They weren't warm. They were something. An hour passed. Every minute was a year. The bus never came. My phone battery dipped. My feet throbbed, then went quiet, which was worse. Then headlights. Then more headlights. A line of black SUVs turned into our street like a parade from another life. 1, 2, 5, 10, 20. They stopped around the bus stop. Doors opened in a practiced, quiet way. Men in black coats stepped out. Not cops. Not anything I'd seen up close. The man in my boots walked back toward me, surrounded like he was important. He looked less purple now. He walked better. He stopped in front of me. He looked at my face, then at Leo. He said just one sentence. Get in. I wanted to say no. Strangers, black cars. It screamed bad movie. But then a woman stepped forward, wrapped in a big parka with a clipboard and kind eyes. Ma'am, I'm Lyra. City Shield Foundation. We do night outreach. We saw you give your boots. The man in my boots stood very still. He was watching me, like he was trying to memorize my face. I'm sorry for the drama, he said. I'm Victor. We don't usually show up like this. We were nearby with our fleet. Fleet, I repeated. The word felt weird in my mouth. He nodded at the cars. Deliveries. Hot meals, heaters, blankets. You gave me your boots. You shouldn't be standing here with a child. The nice woman, Lyra, touched my elbow. Please, it's warm in the car. You can say no, but it's -12. I looked at Leo. His nose was pink and runny. His eyes were big and trusting. My feet were blocks. My pride was a thin blanket that wasn't helping. Okay, I said, small. But just somewhere warm. No funny stuff. No funny stuff, Lyra said as if she could read my head. They put us in a car with heated seats. Leo breathed out an ooh. They handed me tea. They gave Leo a cookie, then asked me if it was okay he had it. That small question almost broke me. Victor slid into the front seat. We do this every year, he said. I used to be where you are, not the Range Rover part, the cold part. People helped me. When I saw you take off your boots. He didn't finish, like he couldn't. I held the tea with both hands and felt my fingers wake up and scream. I said nothing. I didn't trust my voice. They took us to a warm place that wasn't a shelter exactly. It was an office with couches and a kitchen and a Christmas tree that looked lopsided. There were people making soup and typing. There were posters about hotlines. Lyra brought me a pair of new boots. They weren't fancy. They felt like standing on bread. Someone handed Leo a toy car. Someone else put my phone on a charger. Victor sat across from me like he had nowhere else to be. What do you need right now? He asked. My brain unspooled a list. A bed, a door that locked from the inside, my envelope back, money, safety. I said, a place to sleep that's not my parents' couch. We'll put you in a hotel for the weekend, then a short-term apartment for 2 months if you want. It's what we do with emergency cases. We can help with the deposit after that. We don't ask for a return. We ask that you tell us the truth. I stared at her. Why? Because you took off your boots. Also because you don't deserve to beg. I laughed, a weird little gasp. I can work. I have a job. I just need a chance. And I need to get my documents. My mom, she has Leo's passport. She holds it for safety. Lawyer, Lyra said, already texting, will help you get what's legally yours and safe handover for your belongings if you want to go back with support. Do you have any supports? Friends? Victor asked. I stopped asking for help. It made me feel like a sponge. He shook his head. Asking is a skill. People use people when you don't set prices. He reached into a folder and slid a card to me. We're not alone. No interest, no strings. We will ask you, when you're ready, to talk to other women who are where you are. That's the only payback. I looked at Leo pushing his toy car on the table. I looked at my hands. I said, okay. That night, they checked us into a hotel with 2 soft pillows. I took the hottest shower of my life. I watched Leo watch snow from the window and felt my body thaw. I called my mom. She didn't pick up. I called again. Where are you? She texted. Safe, I wrote. I'll pick up Leo's passport on Monday, with an officer. Don't you dare, she wrote. You're ungrateful. I put the phone down and made a decision that felt like walking across a bridge I couldn't see. I turned off read receipts. I put on the new boots. I told myself, 1 hour at a time. It's been 4 months. We're in a small studio with a door that sticks and a window that faces a brick wall. It's perfect. Leo has bunk bed sheets with rockets. I have a calendar with bills and paydays. I breathe differently now. I met with the lawyer. We got Leo's documents. We arranged a time with a police officer to pick up our things. Mom cried and told me I was betraying her. Dad said I'd regret it. Vika asked if she could borrow my hair straightener. I said no. I changed my number. I wrote them an email. I will not be a guarantor. I will not lend money. Visits with Leo will be in public places and scheduled. No more midnight door pounding. No more guilt texts. My boundaries are not personal attacks. They are fences around my kid and my sanity. I started a new payroll job at the foundation. Victor waved when he saw me, then didn't hover. Lyra introduced me as our Aliana. I am useful here. I get paid on time. I help other moms fill out forms that used to terrify me. Sometimes, late, I think about the bus stop, about my bare feet, about how cold it was, and how weird it is that help can arrive in black cars. Here's what I learned. Kindness is not a currency for your family to spend. Love is not a loan you owe. Help strangers when you can. Help yourself first. And if somebody tries to push you out on Christmas Eve, let them. Walk out with your child and your dignity. The rest will catch up.